Marvel has always been the big dog on campus. Whenever they would drop, everyone got out the way and just collected their residuals from the hype they created. Oh, you think I'm kidding? How else do you explain Aquaman making $1 billion in 2018 other than it was in the middle of this Infinity War and Endgame bubble? Literally anything was making money at this time. Captain Marvel, Venom, Joker, the other Captain Marvel. You were lucky to release in this bubble because when everyone got their sequels, years later, they found out these franchises weren't built like that. Ever since Endgame, Marvel has been trying to regain that type of aura. They come back with Spider-Man, then drop something like Ant-Man. They haven't been able to find a groove in the past 6 years at all, but it seems like they have finally got somewhere creatively. They dropped the rebooted slash retooled slash semi-sequel Daredevil Born Again series, Thunderbolts, which was pretty good. Thunderbolts was a very underrated entry into the Avengers franchise. They got Fantastic Four up next, Avengers movies back to back, with Spider-Man right before that pending any delay that might come about with that film. They are back to their bangers only policy, and it's all thanks to the guy they fired. James Gunn in DC is the blueprint for Marvel going forward, and it has been that way for years. I mean, they've been quite shameless about it, to be honest. Kevin Feige has been praising the original Superman movie, saying that it was always the blueprint, that he looks at this movie as the #1 superhero adaptation. When he's trying to make an origin movie specifically, this is his bar. This is what he's trying to recreate every single time.
And of course, in particular, Superman the movie is still to this day the archetype of the perfect superhero film origin story. And we watch it before we make almost any one of our films. And that's been the case for the past 17 years.
But it doesn't just stop with inspiration from the Superman movie. He's also starting to operate things how James Gunn is going to operate things at DC Studios. You see, going into DC Studios, James Gunn wanted to do things different from Marvel and other big franchises. He didn't want to go into a movie without a finished script, which happens so often on a Marvel set. It's literally happening right now with Doomsday and Secret Wars. There's 2 scripts floating around and both of them don't have a finished third act because one of them includes Spider-Man and one of them doesn't. They're still waiting on the third act to come through because they walk in with a skeleton of a script and try to get things done the best they can, and they try to work around things until they know absolutely who is going to be in this movie or not. And since Tom Holland was filming a movie for Nolan, they didn't even know if he'll make it, but it turns out he can make it. They just need to get all the contract stuff sorted out. But at the same time, he still has to film this Spider-Man movie, so maybe this role in Doomsday is not going to be a main character role. Maybe it's a side character, maybe a cameo at the least. But going forward, Kevin Feige said he wants Marvel to prioritize what they are doing before the production starts, so creatives know what they're aiming for when making a movie. A lot of creatives have got lost in the sauce when making a Marvel movie because specifically in Phase 4 and Phase 5, Kevin Feige was a lot more hands-off, whether it be to his obligations to other Marvel things, as he's now the head of everything Marvel, including television, toys, and comics, or he's working on secret Star Wars projects that have been in the work for the past 4 or 5 years at this point. He just hasn't been as hands-on as he used to be, which is not even normal for most producers to be as hands-on as Kevin Feige usually is with Marvel movies. But when a producer has a vision for a movie and he gives it to a director and a director is coming back for feedback and there's silence at the door, you can just tell that the movie is gonna look really empty and lacking focus because some things were just never answered and some plot points just felt dull and like they never led to anywhere. There are just some characters that will literally never appear in another Marvel movie, or at least in the Marvel Cinematic Universe as we know it, because their film didn't perform well or the storyline didn't match up with what they were doing at the time, and Kevin Feige just wasn't paying attention to stay on point with the storyline. Things like the whole Eternals movie will probably be forgotten. Blade is a movie and character they announced 6 years ago, and it doesn't look like they're moving forward with anything, even though he supposedly appeared in a post-credit scene in Eternals. We don't know if we'll see Moon Knight again. It's weird how Shang-Chi didn't get a sequel to his movie yet, and it's been 4 years. Not even a sequel. We haven't seen him since his movie drops. And he was a really good character. Like, people really connected with this movie and character, but yet the first time we'll see him after his movie is Avengers Doomsday. It just seems a little weird and out of place. It seems like there were certain things planned here that they just never got to, because he ended up being recruited by Wong, and Wong ended up showing up more times than he did after that appearance. And Kevin Feige also announced that going forward, he wants Marvel projects to not be as connected as they once were. before. When you go to a Marvel movie, it used to be, you gotta watch this one to watch the next one, and this one to the next, and this one to the next. But he doesn't want that anymore. Because similar to DC, how James Gunn describes it, he doesn't want people to feel obligated to watch everything that DC produces. He wants people to watch the movies that they feel like they're going to like. And for DC, they will produce movies in all types of genres with all types of diverse characters. And I bet Kevin Feige just looked at that model and was like, that's pretty cool actually, how you don't have to connect everything for it to work. It's in the same universe, but you just don't have to connect everything so deliberately leading up to this big bad of an Avengers movie. Just let everything breathe, let everyone be their own character. It's not that big of a deal if She-Hulk doesn't know who Ant-Man is. I believe we're entering a new era where the universe is the backdrop to these individual stories. The Marvel formula of funneling audiences from project to project is dead as fuck. We don't need that anymore. People care about the characters that we're watching more than the universe that they come from. In 2012, people loved the fact that we're getting a universe of all the characters that we knew, but now we're just so used to that. There's superhero universes popping up everywhere. There's magic universes. There's racing universes. Well, they don't even race anymore. They're like in space now. I don't know what the fuck that universe is. The new superhero media age we're entering is a bold one, and it's headlined by the brain of James Gunn. I think the only way to finally kill superhero fatigue is to listen to what James Gunn has to say about how we make movies today. And that's exactly what is happening with Kevin Feige. He is listening and he is changing how Marvel works. And that can only be a good thing. Leave a comment down below. Tell us how you feel about the current state of superhero media. And if you think it's changing for the better, or if it's not. Leave a like if you enjoyed, subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one.